Hello and welcome back. A group of forgotten soldiers from the Malayan Communist Party want to go back home after nearly 50 years in the jungles of southern Thailand. They fought against the British colonial government from 1948 to 1960 in what became known as the Malayan Emergency. Their crime then, as it is now, is their ideology. They're communists, and despite their anti-colonial history, communism is still a dirty word in Malaysia. These ex-guerrillas are now in their 70s, and they're desperate to see home soil again. Chan Kar-mei reports from southern Thailand.
Jadi Cik dapat memaafkan mereka tak?
Minta.
Kenapa Cik tak dapat memaafkan mereka?
Hidup kita seksa. Kehilangan mak kita.
Jamila Abu Bakar lost her mother during the violent communist insurgency in 1950s Malaysia. 200 communists stormed this police station in Bukit Kepong, killing policemen, women and children. The communists, under the leadership of Chin Peng, believed they were fighting for the good of the homeland. But the Malaysian government saw them as dangerous subversives. And to this day, many former members of the party are forbidden from entering Malaysia and are exiled in southern Thailand.
Kita berdoa agar kita berjaya untuk menuntut bahawa Chin Peng tidak dapat dimasuk ke Malaysia. Dengan ini
because now you realize that you make mistake. But this fella never. He didn't take chance during that period. Now he wants to come back because he's already 80 plus. Age doesn't matter. You can be 100 plus, but if you still stand with your ideology, the same ideology, you cannot come back. Because you already said and told throughout the nation that you as a communist cannot stay together with people who are non-communists. We are all non-communists.
Growing up in post-independent Singapore, we had very little understanding of communism, except that it was of the past and to be feared. So when I heard about an 80-year-old man, the leader of the Malayan Communist Party, fighting to be allowed back to Malaysia, it caught my attention. The man was the legendary Chin Peng, and he faced tough opposition in the Malaysian courts.
It's more symbolic. The Malaysian government is angry because recent reassessment of the role of the Communist Party has been acknowledged. Because of Chin Peng, independence was brought forward by 10 to 15 years.
But Chin Peng is not alone in being banned from returning to Malaysia. Many of the former guerrillas remaining in Thailand have never been able to step foot into the country they believe they gave their lives fighting for. I decided to journey to the villages in southern Thailand where the former MCP have resettled after the peace accords of 1989 on land given to them by the Thai government. This is Zi, the village liaison for the Ban Lang village. Originally from Cameron Highlands, he left home in the 1970s to join the Communist Party.
I sacrificed 2 brothers, but the rest were fine. They didn't join the Communist Party, but they were also implicated. When I joined, my brothers were thrown into jail. Even after independence, we went to Beiling for negotiations. But what did the Prime Minister say? He wanted to throw us into jail. We fought hard for so many years. Why should we surrender? So we continued to fight.
Huang Xueying is 73 years old, and she has spent more than half of those years in the jungles. Her life has been fraught with gun battles, hard labor, and even having a baby in the forest.
As a child, I was known as Huang Ziying. Here I'm known as Ai Yi. When I was a guerrilla fighter, each time we went to a new place, we'd change our names to avoid being exposed. I applied for a passport and they agreed to let me return before Chinese New Year, but they didn't. I waited and waited until my passport expired. More than 10 years ago, my eldest sister-in-law was ill, and my family sent me money to apply for a passport so I could visit her. It is now 2006. If your thinking cannot adjust with time, you will be left behind. Look at the way I dress and my attitude. They are modern. I do not behave like an old lady. I don't like it. I couldn't sleep last night. I reminisced about my past. About my childhood, life in the jungle and how you came to interview me today. There were joys and sorrows.
当时在森林里生出来他的时候，你会感觉就是很依依不舍吗？因为那时候要把他送出去。
Those were terrible times. There were aeroplanes and gunfire overhead. When she was carried away, I felt very miserable. But then I thought, if I didn't send her away, she wouldn't have survived.
After waiting for more than 15 years, the Thai government finally granted the remaining comrades Thai citizenship. This opened up a way, perhaps the only way for them to go home.
Yes, we waited and waited. The children who were born there are now 15 years old. Initially, we didn't know if they'd survived, but now they are in secondary school. Apply for a passport, then return to Malaysia to visit my relatives, then go to Singapore and China.
叫到名字就坐在前面，如果叫到名字他没有在的话，就空给他；如果是没有来的话，就告诉这里，叫他这个名划掉了。
คนต่อไปนะครับนายฉายซิงแท้เฉินนายทุกหล่นแท้ซิง
我就要还鼓掌了。
After more than 50 years, Shui Ying finally goes home to Perlis, Malaysia. But she's one of the few. Many have perished in these jungles, never to see their homeland. Time is running out for these aging ex-soldiers, their chances of return growing slimmer by the day. And despite the peace agreement and the span of time, prejudice and suspicion still persist as obstacles to their homecoming.
他才懂得
When we go back, the ISD officers follow us. Obviously, they do not trust us.
Of course we want to return. I was born and bred in Singapore. Don't you think that I would want to return?
As for Chin Ping, he remains in Thailand, still waiting for his next court hearing.
That's it for the programme. Until next time, goodbye.